This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. Delighted to be joined here today by Lightning Lee McGregor. We're down here at McGuigan's gym. First time I've seen you this year, Lee. How are you?
I'm all good, mate. Yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well. Always a pleasure to sit down with you. First things first, this is the first interview I think we've done since you became a dad. Yeah. So congratulations. How is it?
It's great. She's coming on brilliant. I'm back down here training now, so it's hard, but it's also gave me that hunger and that in training that like I'm now providing for her and my family. So it's just gave me that wee bit extra bite that I've needed to come down and get back into training.
When you've been at home, have you been hands-on, Dad? Have you been getting in there, as it were?
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like before she was born, Josh Pritchard's baby, he had a little girl just before me, so it was good. I seen her when she was sort of like a week old or something, and I knew it was coming for me, and I held her and stuff, but she just felt so fragile, and I not that I felt scared, I just didn't know how to handle someone else's child, whereas with mine, it's totally different. Like she's my daughter, like it's just all came natural, and I'm enjoying it. I'm loving every minute, and she couldn't be any better herself. So it's been great so far. It's been a great start.
It's like that for me. My niece is like 3 months older than my daughter, so I was the same at the start. When you've got yours, you realise they're a bit more sturdy than they look, and you kind of get on with it.
It's totally different, honestly. See with mine, like you would think that I've had so many just with how good I am with her, like, but it's just for the simple fact that it's mine, and they've not got anyone telling me I'm doing something right, I'm doing something wrong. She's mine, and I'll decide what to do with her, and she's. Yeah, as I say, she's coming on great.
First of many to come?
Possibly, yeah, possibly. But we'll see what happens. Just the one for the now.
So you're back in the gym. How was your Christmas break? Eat too much Christmas turkey, or were you okay when you came back?
Nah, well, I fought in October, didn't I? So I've had a good break over Christmas. Obviously, the baby was born in November, so now I've enjoyed myself. Ate a lot of crap, and yeah, I've done everything that everyone else would do after a fight. So, but I got back into training up the road. I was ticking over and stuff up the road, and then obviously when I come back down here, it gets serious. It's different. It's different sort of training altogether, because as much as you can train up the road and tick over and run yourself and stuff, it's not the same as being down here. It's just totally different training, and it's took me a couple of weeks to get back to how I finished off camp. But I'm getting there now, and I feel like I'm sharpening up and getting fitter every week. So I think I'm in week 4 now at the training, so down here anyway. So and I'm coming on well, and I'm just wanting to hopefully get back in the ring early next couple of weeks, and then we can push on for a big year.
Now, you had a great year last year. Picked up the Commonwealth title in your 5th fight, was it, against Thomas Asomba? Talk to me a little bit about that fight. Now you've had a bit of time to look back on it. Controversially, I think is probably the best way to describe it, sent to the canvas for the first time in your career. What have you made of the fight now you've had a bit of time to kind of let it sink in and look back on it?
I think it was a great fight for the fans and everyone that travelled down to come and watch me, and everyone that was in attendance. But for me, I proved to people that I can go the 12 rounds, you know, and I can fight as well as I can box. I think I proved that. But also, like, I believe I could have won that fight. Like, I'm not saying easier, because I did win the fight easy enough. But it was more tough than it was close. You know, like, it was a tough fight. It wasn't a close fight. So he was a strong man. I've learned obviously more in that fight than I have done probably my whole career. So it was a great learning fight for me, and I just want to kick on from that fight, and hopefully I can pick up more titles this year.
That's something that I always speak to you about, and obviously I speak to Shane McGuigan, your trainer, fairly regularly. You're somebody who wants to get on with things, 100 mile an hour. You said to me in the past that if Naoya Inoue was offered to you, you'd take the fight. Do you think that that's going to be a case of, are you having to, I know you're looking at KASH FAROOQ for the British title, are you still thinking, right, I want to get on with things as quick as possible? Well, now you've had that year and you've had that win over Thomas Asomba, are you kind of looking at a few more around this level before you step up?
Yeah, probably. Like, obviously, if it was it is up to my team. So if it was my choice, I would just move on right away. But it's up to my team what I want to do, and they do keep me grounded, and they keep my feet on the ground, and they're going to do what's best for me. And obviously, I think they think a couple more fights at this level. Hopefully, we can maybe try and get the British title fight as we spoke about, and then possibly or have a defence of the Commonwealth, obviously, in my next fight, and then maybe later or late summer we can maybe get the British and Commonwealth title fight with Farouk in Scotland would be ideal, and then possibly see that year out with another defence or something, stay domestically, and then yeah, who knows what can happen towards the end of 2019. I believe right now I could fight for the European title. There's a French guy who's European champion. I believe I can beat him. But it's not just that, it's when you go there and you do win that title, you stay there, and then you push on to world level. So right now, obviously my team don't want me to do that. They want me just to stay where I am at the moment, and because I'm still learning every day, so I've got plenty of time on my side as well, so there's no rush, but it's just my mentality. I'm fearless, and I just want to get cracking, and any opportunity that comes my way, I'll take it, because it's just my attitude. I'm a born fighter, and that's the way I am.
That fight with KASH FAROOQ, 2 Scots, unbeaten, British Commonwealth titles. How big a fight is that in Scotland, and how much do you want that fight this year?
I think it's a huge fight for Scotland. The whole country would be buzzing for that fight. It could possibly be bigger down the line, but at the same time, things happen. Like the fight might not even happen, and I don't want that opportunity to miss. I don't want the fans in Scotland to miss out on a massive opportunity to watch 2 young unbeaten fighters coming through and putting it all on the line and fighting. Whereas, as we say, things can happen. You know what I mean? I'm big for this weight. I might outgrow this weight, and then the fight will never happen, and everyone's going to be disappointed. So I'd love that fight. Honestly, I'd take that fight next week. It's just my team have got a plan, and their plan is to try and get this fight this year. So he's defending his British title. I think soon. Obviously, I'll defend the Commonwealth soon as well. We're just waiting on the date getting confirmed, and then so we're both got fights coming up. And then why not in our next fight if we both win? Let's get it on. Like, that's what I want to do, and I've heard that that's what they want. I've read reports that they're keen on the fight as well. So it makes sense, and the fans will be in for a treat. So I'm up for it on my side.
What's your relationship like with KASH FAROOQ? I mean, you don't strike me as somebody you're not much of a trash talker. I mean, you're a very confident young guy, but you're not a trash talker. What's your relationship like with KASH FAROOQ? Have you got much experience with him over the years?
Yeah, I've been travelled the world with KASH. It was amateur days. We were in the same team. He was always the weight above me, believe it or not, in the amateurs. So he's a great lad. Honestly, I've sparred many rounds with him as well. I've helped him out sparring for his upcoming fights, and it's just we're both at the top of our game, and we're both young unbeaten fighters, and everyone's raving about the 2 of us. So it's why not fight? You know, like he's got a belt that I want, I've got a belt that he wants, and it's just a great fight, and we can make good money from it. But he's a great lad, and I've got so much respect for him, so much time for him. I was actually came across a photo the other day there on Facebook, and it'd be quite funny if the fight does get made and it does live up to how big it could be, that we're just 2 young lads. Both of us had been in Wales, and we were on a Scotland-Wales duel, and we had both won, and we were pictured together both winning. So it'll be funny to bring that out if the fight gets made.
You mentioned your amateur background, something that we've just spoken about briefly off camera. I had Sonny Edwards on the Boxing Social podcast that was talking about amateur fight that you guys had a long time ago when you were quote unquote a relative unknown. Just your version of events. Sonny's not somebody who gives out compliments easily, but he was very complimentary about you. Yeah,
to be fair, I could say the same. I mean, obviously back then, I think it was 2014. Yeah, it was 2014, so towards the end of 2013, sort of like October, November time, because I can actually remember it clear. I've told this story before, that I'd won the Scottish Novice Championships, which is like under 6 fights in the amateurs. So I'd won the Novice Championships, I think it was October, November time, and then January time was the Scottish Intermediate Championships, which is between 7 and 14 fights, and I'd won that as well. And then it was the prelims for the Scottish Open Championships was February, so it was all in quick succession. And my team at the time, my coaches John McCarran and Pej, at the time were saying, well, maybe just leave it for a year and then we can you'll be really ready to go next year. And I wanted to fight as well. Like, we'll just go and we'll go in the Open Championships. You know, I'd only had must have been, well, I didn't intermediates between 7 and 14, so I must have had eight or 9 fights at this time, because the novices was under 6, so it happened so quick. So basically, I went in the Scottish prelims and I ended up winning the Scottish Open Championships. The finals were in March, and then the British Championships were the following week. So from going in the space of a couple of months ago, I'd won the novice championships, and now I was in the British Championships, and it was actually a straight final, and it was Sonny Edwards, and we had heard all about him. He was a cracking amateur back then. I think he had about 30 or 40 amateur fights, lost maybe 2 or 3 or something. And it was a massive step up, and no one expected me to win the fight, and just me and my team, that was it. And obviously the Scottish boys who knew who I was. So yeah, I heard them saying it was in Meadowbank, where I trained, and the support and that, it was brilliant. I remember it well, and I boxed really well. I boxed out my skin, best performance, and as he says, it was my 11 for 12 fight, and I won that fight unanimous. And then he was moaning after it, saying it was a robbery and that, but I'm glad he cleared that up in the video, that he wasn't robbed. And now we get on well. Now I've got a lot of respect for Sonny. He's doing well as well. So no, it's good to talk back. And again, I've got photos that you could go back and see me and him that size, and he's got his hands in his face, gutted that he's lost. But nah, it's all banter, eh?
Yeah, I think he was, as I say, he's not somebody who gives out compliments very easily, but he was very complimentary about you. So now you're back in the gym. You've been doing a bit of sparring today. What kind of stuff have you been up to? I know you came into the gym, as you said, in relatively good shape, but it's quite a bit different coming in good shape to kind of get into fighting shape, really. Tell me a little bit about your sparring and your preparation.
Yeah, so I come back, I think, as I said earlier on, I think this is me in week 4 back down here. So I think I sparred the first week I came back, because obviously Shane and that knew that I was reasonably quite fit. I'd been ticking over back home, so I sparred, I think, 6 or 8 rounds, and I felt all right. I felt good, but as we were stepping the train up, and as the weeks get harder, it's hard to still stay on it in your sparring. I've been sparring well. We've had some good sparring, and we had Louis Lennon today, so good sparring, 8 rounds with him today. So it's just getting picked up each week, and the 8 rounds today has done me well. And I think that now I'm really starting to get my fitness. It's took me, as I say, 4 weeks to get proper fit, and it's been a really hard week this week. So I think I'll have the benefits of this week, and next week I'll come in fresh, and we'll go again. But I'm ready. I'd be ready to fight in 2 weeks' time. It's just about doing it right, and obviously Shane knows best. So I just do what he says and keep training, keep plugging away, and there's no harm in training hard. I'll get fitter each week, and then the minute I get a date, I'm ready to go.
Now, since the last time I spoke to you, we've had George Groves retire. I know he's been back in the gym, and he's going to be around the gym quite regularly, but just your thoughts on that, really. I mean, you're kind of take young Jack Hillier, little pup Jack Hillier out of the equation. You're kind of the baby of the gym. George was probably the most established from the gym. It's not the oldest, Campbell's older. But what was that like for you, and just your thoughts on George's retirement?
I think, yeah, we've heard him say that you know, he's going out at the top of his game, which not many fighters do. They carry on, they end up losing. And to be fair, I still believe he had more in him. I still think he had another world title, to win a world title again. He could have possibly fought one of the DeGALE-EUBANK and stuff, but you know, it's his choice, and he's had a great career. He's made a hell of a lot of money, and he's a legend in the sport. So if he chooses to retire, then that's so be it. That's what he wants to do, and it's still good to have him in the gym, as you say. He's still going to be here for advice, and yeah, I'll always go to him if I've got anything to ask, and he's supportive, and he's there for all the fighters in the gym, and he's approachable. So now it's good to still have him about in the gym.
You mentioned that DeGale-EUBANK fight. Appreciate it's nothing to do with you, but just your thoughts on that. That's coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Who are you picking?
I don't know, actually. I think if to choose, I'd probably just go with Eubank. a lot of people probably say DeGale, but you just don't know how much DeGale's got left. You know Eubank's going to be fit. You know he's going to come for the full fight, and it's whether DeGale can keep him off for the full fight. It's a hard fight to choose who's going to win, but if I had to pick, I would probably just go with Eubank just for the relentless the style that he brings, and I just think he'll work DeGale towards the end of the fight and maybe nick it on points.
Okay, well, just before we go, we've mentioned them at a couple of different points of this interview, as we always do. One of the things that I love about you as a fighter is that you bring an absolutely mental fan base to all of your fights, and it's something that has happened since you were an amateur. What message have you got to give to them as they, I'm sure, will be following you so vociferously throughout 2019?
Just basically keep your eyes peeled. There's a big year coming. Try and be on your best behaviour, because I remember the last fight. I remember Samba went down and the fight hadn't been stopped yet, and I seen someone come in the ring. I thought it was his corner from the towel, and I looked down and it's a bloody Scotland flag. I'm like, oh, for God's sake. But nah, just basically I appreciate all the support that you bring me, and honestly, you are the best support in the world. Just keep your eyes peeled. This is going to be a massive year for us all, and they're all behind me. They're all on at me, what's happening, where we're going. Like we go to America, they're coming, so it's yeah, just keep your eyes peeled, and we'll be back out soon.
Hopefully an opportunity to headline your own show this year.
Hopefully, well, that's what we've been speaking about. That's the plan. Hopefully we can get something finalised and get up the road in Edinburgh. There's no many venues in Edinburgh, but there's a few places that we've been looking at, and obviously there's Glasgow as well. So that's what I want to do. I want to headline my own show, and ideally, like, let's Farooq McGregor fight for the Commonwealth and British titles late summer, Edinburgh, Glasgow. That's a dream for me. So fingers crossed we can get a big fight made, and yeah, at home for all the good fans, as you just said.
Okay, well, Lightning Lee McGregor, always a pleasure sitting down with you. Glad parenthood is treating you well. You need to get some colour on your face. You're looking a lot more pale than the last time we sat down. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Look forward to catching up with you soon.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.